continue to rise sharply across the country. The oversight body is again calling out the Jamaica Constabulary Force over what it describes as the failure to use body-worn cameras during deadly planned operations. With that story, here's Andre Jebinson.
Indicom says in just 24 hours between July 11 and 18, 4 men were shot and killed by police in separate incidents across St. Catherine. That brings this year's fatal police shootings to 177 people, more than double the number from the same period last year. According to Indicom, in the last 12 months, a total of 288 people have been killed by members of the security forces. Yet, in all those cases, none of the incidents were captured on body-worn cameras. Indicom argues that body-worn cameras are especially critical in planned raids and operations targeting wanted men, situations where lives are most at risk and public accountability is crucial. Indicom adds that most recent operations took place in settings where there were no physical barriers to camera use. Indicom says while it recognizes the dangers police face, it stresses that without video evidence or third-party witnesses, it's nearly impossible to verify officers' claims of self-defense, especially in repeated cases where suspects are alleged to have pointed weapons first. The Commission is urging the JCF to urgently address the deployment of body cameras in all future planned operations. Andre Jebinson, CVM News.
Illegal dump sites have done more than just add stench to the city, leaving stakeholders in the Kingston and St. Andrew Municipal Corporation more determined to go beyond just clearing them. One stakeholder during a recent public health meeting reasons the city's plight is a cultural defect now ingrained. More from Nika Lewis.
It's a cultural defect that has now become ingrained in right across the society. And we have to work together to fix that.
Illegal dumps continue to pop up across the corporate area, coming to the fore of public health meetings at the municipal corporation again. The mayor shared fresh solutions to thwart the public health risk.
Clearing some of these dump sites doesn't help the situation, if you understand what I mean. If you don't, make sure you utilize the spots. And one of the ways that we have to do is that how can we create some parks with the involvement of the communities to make sure that this thing works. So you have to understand. So for example, how do you put some tire, make sure dirt in it, that means the public health don't come and say it will breed mosquito, and plant some nice plants there and put it up and you make it into a kids play area and those things. So we have to look at situations like those.
But it's not just the residential risks, but those presented by corporate bodies who have not partnered with the solid waste entities to properly dispose of their waste.
In our business district, and I may speak of downtown now, Papede, Crossroad and those areas. And this is a criticism of solid waste. We have to find a solution after, where if you're in an arrangement with solid waste, you have to have some receptacles, an agreed receptacle is identifiable that they can put their garbage in. Right now, the few that are I don't know, I can't say the few, but whoever are in arrangement with you, they put that out at the front, and who are not in arrangement, put out the front, and you can't differentiate. And then you get stuck downtown with the garbage, collecting those garbage, when by right, they should be in our community clean up the garbage.
He notes the need for distinction in the receptacles in the town space. Meanwhile, Executive Director of the National Solid Waste Management Authority, Audley Gordon, says greater support is needed in keeping communities and towns clean.
Waste management is a major challenge in Jamaica, and I'll take you back before I come forward. We have seen the waste management being treated like a second cousin in the family. And it started when we had in 2001 a NSWMA Act, which still today is without the requisite regulations that should give the act the teeth so that you can adequately execute.
Gordon notes efforts to remove waste requiring the use of heavy-duty equipment in some communities, reminding that only 40% of the communities in which it has become necessary have pledged support for proper disposal in the KSAMC. Angela Melville, CVM News.
And the mayor of Kingston says steps are being taken to address mounting complaints from residents, developers and planning professionals over inconsistencies in urban developments across the city. In January, Mayor Swaby established a 3-member review panel to investigate the issues, and this week the findings were formally presented. Carla Ramdeen has more.
The Kingston and St. Andrew Municipal Building and Town Planning Committee this week received a long-awaited report from a special panel commissioned by Mayor Andrew Swaby. The panel, made up of urban planning experts Dr. Copeland Stupart, Miss Lorna Perkins, and Kevin Guscott, was tasked with examining the city's development. The move came after widespread frustration about delays, inconsistent reinforcement, and growing dissatisfaction across planning and development. The panel's findings highlighted a number of systematic challenges. Chief among them was a lack of standardized procedures. The report also said guidelines for reviewing planning applications are not consistently documented or applied, causing significant variation in how applications are handled. The review also noted that many steps in the application process are unnecessary, contributing to delays. Incomplete submissions from applicants only add to the problem, requiring repeated follow-ups and requests for further information. Internally, the panel found that onboarding tools for staff are limited, leading to inconsistencies in practice across departments. Compounding this are delays linked to external agencies like NEPA, NWA, NWC, and the Jamaica Fire Brigade. And while the Amanda platform was introduced in 2009 to streamline processes, it remains underutilized and inconsistently adapted by staff. The panel also flagged outdated policies and bylaws that hindered the municipality's ability to respond to modern development demands. Among the panel's key recommendations is a new approach of applicant engagement. They propose mandatory pre-application meetings where developers can meet with planners assigned to specific areas to clarify requirements and timelines. This, they said, would reduce the confusion and improve the quality of submissions. Mayor Swaby indicated that the report will be used as a foundation for reform, with the goal of building a more transparent, efficient, and responsive development system in Kingston. The mayor said the findings and recommendations will be examined by the KSAMC and reports will be sent to every councillor.
I've also represented the findings to the Minister of Local Government, to the Integrity Commission, and some other persons who will get these copies.
The budgeted amount for the implementation of all the activities over the 3 years is $95 million, with $49.3 million for the first year.
Preparation of the local sustainable development plan is expected to cost approximately $50 million over the 3 years. $10 million is expected to be spent in the first year. The funding for the LSDP can be through partnership with the National Housing Trust, and I think the sugar industry, I think they had also helped to sponsor other local sustainable development plan.
Carla Ramdeen, CVM News.
The Agricultural Development Fund was the main focus of a PNP rally in Black River, St. Elizabeth earlier this week. The party shared plans promising a better life for the people. More from Crystal Williams.
The People's National Party, PNP, went 0 for 4 in the 2020 general election in St. Elizabeth, an outcome that included a loss in the traditionally reliable seat of St. Elizabeth Northeastern. Now, the party is placing renewed focus on the parish, especially in its push for a revival through agricultural investment. The PNP said special emphasis is being placed on the agricultural food production efforts.
So, comrades, we will cut the food importation bill by 25% in the next 5 years. We're going to build an agriculture special economic zone We will launch a 2.5 billion agricultural development fund, taking just 1% from food import tax, and we're going to pump it into rural farmers.
The PNP's prospective candidate for the pivotal St. Elizabeth Northeastern seat, Zulika Jess, has committed to improving healthcare, housing, water access, and other essential services.
I am happy to tell you tonight that out of the 50,000 houses that the PNP going to build, Northeast St. Elizabeth must get 500. Because your next member of parliament, me a bust you with water in your pipe.
Meanwhile, PNP President and opposition leader Mark Golding highlighted opportunities to strengthen national security and advance economic opportunities. He also pledged to uplift the small farmers of St. Elizabeth.
Comrades, our platform is built on addressing the real issues affecting the Jamaican people.
Crystal Williams reporting for CVM News.
More from our news desk in a moment.